In questioning Mr. Meikle, Officer 1's counsel opened by underlining several points previously raised in the inquest. Jamas Hodivala KC said his client had not intended to crash into the RHIB that night, that the location and cause of the crash were unrelated, that the navigation devices aboard not being switched on had no bearing on the collision, and that the exact cause of the collision could not be determined. Mr. Meikle agreed with him. Mr. Hodivala then questioned how Mr. Meikle could say that the RGP vessel had been too close to the RHIB before the collision if he had no police experience or knowledge of police tactics. He showed the court a video of a separate chase at sea involving the RGP, asking Mr. Meikle whether he considered the vessel in the video to have been navigating safely. Mr. Meikle said he would consider some aspects of the chase safe and others as unsafe, but that it was not a like-for-like comparison. When asked why he had said the proximity of the RGP vessel to the RHIB on the night of the collision was unsafe, he replied, because they collided. Mr. Hodivala said Officer 1 was faced with an impossible situation and did the best he could to avoid the collision. Mr. Meikle disagreed. A point of contention between Officers 1 and 2 and Mr. Meikle has been the angle of incidence of the collision, the relative position of one boat to the other at the moment of impact. Mr. Hodivala argued that several pieces of evidence Mr. Meikle used to inform his conclusion were incorrect, primarily that the two front seats on the RHIB were undamaged. He also questioned whether elements of damage to the RHIB which were attributed to the crash might not have been there beforehand, changing Mr. Meikle's conclusions. Mr. Meikle said without parts of this evidence his findings would have been less firm, but he stood by them as his best estimate. The investigator's report, based on witness testimony and his analysis, concluded that it was the front two occupants of the RHIB who were killed by the impact. Officer 2 told the court this afternoon that it was the two rear passengers on the RHIB who had died. Representing the deceased, Mr. Finch put to Officer 2 that, as an experienced coxswain himself, his account of events leading up to the chase was a barefaced lie. Officer 2 has told the court he believed the RGP vessel had been in Gibraltar waters at all times. He said they were positioned near the perimeter of Gibraltar waters and that Officer 1 told him the Guardia Civil had reported the RHIB heading towards their location at speed. He told Mr. Finch he could call the Guardia Civil officer to confirm this. Mr. Finch suggested he was only saying this because he was confident a Guardia Civil officer would not come to testify in Gibraltar, and told Officer 2 he was not telling the truth. Officer 2 reminded Mr. Finch that he was under oath. Mr. Finch replied that it should be he reminding the officer of this, because it was now known the entire chase took place in Spanish waters. Answering questions from his own counsel, Barnabas Branston, Officer 2 again recounted events on the night. He told the court there had been no need for him to check and confirm that he was still in Gibraltar at the time of the chase, because he had firmly believed he was still in Gibraltar waters and was focused on the radar. He said it was the senior coxswain's responsibility to switch on the boat's chart plotter, a navigational and tracking device which hadn't been turned on at the time. He said once engaged in pursuit, in the dark, with reduced visibility and the spotlights on, you lose perception of time and location. But he insisted Officer 1 had been navigating safely at all times. If he had seen anything reckless or dangerous in his piloting, he says he would have pulled the engine's kill cord without a question. He said it should have been up to the pilot of the RHIB to stop, rather than engage in unpredictable and dangerous maneuvers.